Okay, excited to get going with this plan. Kind of getting into it deep today with our Tuesday prep. Really good football team. This is obviously the two best teams in this division at this point, and we get the opportunity to lock up Saturday night in Boston and kind of settle it on the field. So this is the way it ought to be. Championship week for us. Obviously, we have a chance to clinch the division. You work all year to get to this point, and now you're 4 quarters away from achieving one of our main goals each and every year. So really proud of our team for putting themselves in this position. But we got a huge challenge, man. Boston College is a really tough, hard-nosed, very well-coached football team that I think has had a heck of a year. And especially up there at home, this will be a major challenge for us. So we're excited about it, looking forward to it. Offensively for them, everything starts up front, big, strong, physical. This team is built like us as far as they know who they are, just like we know who we are. And there's a lot of veteran leadership and a lot of veteran experience on both sides of the ball. So we're kind of mirror images of each other in that way. I think very prideful groups, us and them. But their style is a little different, and as far as how they go about doing things. You're going to see a lot of 12 and 13 personnel, so 2 and 3 tight ends in the ball game. And the quarterback is an outstanding player, very good football player. Dylan is a 245-pound back, and then 23 behind him is a heck of a player. I mean, these guys have all made big plays. 89, ironically, Swinney is his name. He's the best we've seen. He is a really, really talented player. Leads them in receptions. Got a couple good wideouts on the outside, 9 and 6. 6 got behind us last year, beat Trayvon deep down the sideline. So just a very well-coordinated offense. Stress you big time with all their action game, the boots, the swap boots, the pop passes, the nakeds. They do an excellent job from top to bottom on this offensive side. And then defensively, it's the same old Boston College. You look at our game last year, it was 7-7 in the fourth quarter. And we popped a couple big plays on them and we're able to kind of get control of the game. But every yard is a tough, dirty yard against BC. I mean, they make you earn everything. Very well positioned, same thing, very well coordinated on the defensive side. Really big and stout inside at D tackle. The 2 ends, 11 is right there at the top of the country in sacks. Number 2 is an All-American. They've done a nice job recruiting, especially on the back 7. I think that's where they've improved the most since I've been kind of competing against BC. They've always been really stout and good in the front 7. But the back group, their safeties and their corners, athletic guys that can cover, guys that can run, and they ask them to cover. They'll mix up their coverages and play some zone, play a lot of man. But the same thing, I think they're very well coordinated as far as how they game plan week in and week out to attack what you do best. So big challenge, sound in the kicking game. Again, one of the better returners we've seen. I think he's averaging 11 or 12 yards a return. So this is what championship football is all about. You turn on the tape and you go, well, that's why they are where they are. They're a really good team. You turn on our tape and look at us and you go, oh, well, that's why we're where we are. So this is what it's all about. Bless you. And we get an opportunity to get after it Saturday night and see if we can find a way to win it.
Coach, you won your first game there 10 years ago.
Yep.
Always special memories for you when you go up to Chestnut Hill?
Yeah, almost to the date. I mean, it was November 1st was that first win, and so not too far past that, and it is always special memories. And that was an unbelievable moment. And every time I go up there, I think about that for sure. So hopefully we can find a way to celebrate in that locker room one more time. Definitely got some good memories.
Coach, everybody talks about A.J. Dillon, and rightfully so, but that number 23 you mentioned, he had a pretty big game up in Blacksburg.
He did. He popped a big, split zone right up the middle on him, and was a big play. He's also really good in the passing game. They do a nice job of involving him. He's electric. He's a different type of runner. He's not as big. He's just over 200 pounds, but he's a very, very good player. And then Dillon is just, he's 245 pounds. That guy can move. He's a load. A lot of people bounce off of him, so you got to do a good job of swarming and getting more than one person there, and you better wrap up and try to tackle through his legs.
You held him to just 57 yards last year on 18 carries. Is that just a testament to Christian and Dexter and how much they can eat up blocks in the middle? Yeah,
we played well last year against these guys. We didn't play great offensively. We turned the ball over. We had terrible field position. We got backed up a couple times, and then we turned it over and put our defense in really bad field position a couple times. But defensively, we played pretty well. They popped a few plays on us, but I thought our guys did a nice job of tackling for the most part. And we didn't tackle great at safety. We got to tackle better at safety. But it's a mindset. It's like playing Georgia Tech. There's like a Georgia Tech mindset, and there's a BC mindset that it's just a certain style of play, and if you're not ready for that, they'll embarrass you.
There's a lot of film out with Dillon playing and then with him on the sidelines, and obviously with his health in question. Do you have any changes that you foresee if he doesn't play as opposed to if he does play in terms of how you plan to defend them?
No, he'll play, but no different than last year. They're going to play multiple guys, and he played well in Blacksburg last week. He had some nice plays, some tough yards, and he does some of the stuff that may not go wow, but he's pounding people. He is a sledgehammer in there. So I don't doubt that he'll be ready to go, but they're going to do what they do, regardless of who's back there.
You've gone out of your way to effusively play the last couple of teams that have come in here that you've beaten in lopsided fashion. How does your model prevent complacency, your model of preparation prevent complacency when you get a team like Boston College that does have high-quality players coming in?
We just do what we always do. We don't prepare any different. We really don't. It's not. There's the same Monday practice that we had against Georgia Southern yesterday. We don't do anything any different. We try to create consistency in our preparation. We don't do anything different as coaches. Our schedule's not different. We just go about our business and put our plan together with a daily routine, and just try to make that game the biggest game of the year every week. We really do that. I know a lot of people say, "Well, that's coach speak." Well, it's coach speak because that's what you got to do to be successful and be consistent. So we work really hard at that, and then we learn from it. If you win or you lose, you don't get too high, you don't get too low. Fans are really high or really low, and we don't do that. We just stay focused on the task at hand, and our guys have really bought into that. But just the consistency in our preparation. So this is the biggest game of the year because it's the one we're playing. It just so happens after this one, if you win, they're gonna hand you a trophy. So that's pretty cool. But last week was this isn't any bigger than last week. If we hadn't won that one, then this one they don't hand you a trophy. So they're all big. They're all big, and that's the mindset that we bring to it every single week. And I'm proud of our team. I think this team, the focus and the leadership of this team has been pretty special because we've played a couple of teams the last couple of weeks that records, aren't very good. But our guys have shown up, and they've played to a standard, and they take pride in their performance, and so that's a That's a really good quality to this team.
Dabo, the special teams unit for Boston College, scored a couple touchdowns on block punts. I think Levy, 23, is the guy that scored those touchdowns. They've seemed to be really active in that area. Have you guys seen a lot of tape on their special teams units and what you?
Oh yeah. They blocked the punt against NC State for a touchdown. Kind of got them back in the game. It was NC State was up on them early, and then that was a huge play to get them back in. Had a chance to win that game. Missed a few plays. And Purdue had a great plan against them, and but yeah, I mean their returners are good, kickers good. I mean they come after it. I mean we've got to be really disciplined, especially with our punt protection team, because they've got a couple of schematic things that can cause some problems if you're not locked into what you're doing and fundamentally sound and doing the things the way. Because if you take something for granted, they're going to hurt you because they will come after it.
A lot of teams out there run tempo, but is BC unique in that they do it with like 9 tight ends?
Yeah. You don't see many teams that play a lot of 12 and 13 personnel. That's just who they are. It's what they believe in. But then they'll get in empty. They'll formationally they'll do a lot of similar stuff. They've just got some different personnel that they do it with. But, they know what they're doing. They're very committed to who they are. And, again, it's well coordinated. They're not just calling plays. I mean, everything is intentional and purposeful. And then all of a sudden, boom, here comes a trick play. And you got it just they do. You have to be very disciplined with your eyes and your keys big time. You can't see too much. You better have little eyes when you play this bunch, because if you see too much, there's a lot to see when you got the amount of guys that they got in the box sometimes.
Do you think Boston College fits into that image that we have of Northern football, just big offensive line, physical,
Yeah.
have to beat you with the
Yeah,
scheme
I
rather
think
than
so.
the great players everywhere?
I think so. I mean, I think Coach Adazio, I think he relishes that. I mean, that's just kind of his personality. He's an offensive line guy, and a great football coach. He's passionate. I mean, you think about BC, I think about toughness. I mean, I've been going against these guys for a long time now, so I don't know when we started playing them. So I know I was an interim in 2008, so probably about 2005 or 2006. Is that about right? So I mean, when was it? 2005. So we've been I've seen these guys a lot, and when I think of BC, that's what I think about: toughness. I think about pride. I think about discipline. I think about physicality. They epitomize all those things. It's a very prideful program, and I just think Coach Adazio he's just done an awesome job embracing that mindset and that philosophy, and I think he instills that in his players. Just really not surprised at all to see what he's done with that team.
What would it mean to this program to win the division again?
Well, I mean, that would be our 4th division in a row. I don't know that that's been done. So that would be a great accomplishment, especially for this group of seniors that have accomplished just so much already. So it's something that's important to them, and it would mean that we'd have a chance to go to Charlotte and play for a 4th ACC title in a row, which hadn't been done. So it just you got to. You can't win 12 till you win 10. You can't win the ACC till you win the division. It just kind of all builds upon each other, so it just creates more opportunity for this team down the road.
Christian had a big game up there 2 years ago with a sack in a TFL. Does he always get a little bit more amped up for this kind of homecoming for him?
Yeah, he's going to be a captain for us this week. He's excited. I don't know. He's been trying to steal everybody's tickets on the team, so I'm sure he's been successful and got a bunch of them. But, yeah, he's excited. It's kind of one of those games he always looks forward to.
5 weeks ago,
Defensive
everybody was so
ends rate.
worried about the quarterback situation.
Say that again?
5 weeks ago, everybody was so worried
Yeah.
about the quarterback situation. And somebody asked me Saturday, with the rise of Chase Bryce and how well he's played and Trevor coming along, do you think you're in a better situation now quarterback-wise than you were at the beginning? beginning of the year?
Uh,
Or how would you?
no, I think we had three really good ones at the beginning of the year, and now we got two. So I think three's better than two. I like to have as many good players as I can have. So, but it is what it is. I think we're in a good place, and those guys have done awesome. I mean, they really have. I'm really proud of Trevor. I mean, he's played 9 games, and it's just he's not a freshman anymore. I mean, he doesn't walk like one. He doesn't practice like one. He doesn't game plan like one. I mean, he's a veteran player now, and then Chase is kind of, man. He's played a lot in the last 5 games. This kid has gotten a ton of playing time, and he's done well. About every time he goes in, he moves us, and he's just playing at another level. Same thing on the practice field. I see the same thing. I mean, even just last night, he made a couple plays last night. I mean, it's just you just see the confidence in him, and we are very fortunate because I think we got 2 guys right now that'll be future pros one day if they stay healthy, and so it's a good situation for us, and very glad, very thankful that both of them have been able to get the type of experience that you'd love to have, especially as you you're going to have some type of postseason opportunity down the road.
Both Allen and Ray are really active on the edge for those guys. What have you guys seen on tape when you look at them and compare them a little bit to Burns and the guys you had last week?
Well, they're bigger. Burns is long, but a little leaner kid, lightning fast. These guys are just a little bit more physically stout. They can hold up and do a great job, rushing the passer, running all their twists. They don't hesitate to bring those guys inside and all that, but they're just active, relentless effort guys. They're very smart players. They recognize things very well. They had that number 7 last year was a great player for them. I don't know when he had to have been drafted high. I don't know the exact round, but it had to be up there high. But they just kind of they know what they're doing, man. They evaluate well, and good technique in rushing the passer. So we've got our work cut out to minimize those guys, for sure.
When it comes to correcting mistakes, you said you had some still that you wanted to correct on Saturday. Is it easier or harder after playing this stretch of games you have to correct those mistakes and have the attention of your team?
I think it's always easier when you're winning to do anything. I prefer doing everything after a win. I don't ever get excited about a loss, but it is what it is. When you have one, you go back to work, and then you challenge and you find out what you're made of, and you learn and you pick yourself up and you go back to work. That's what winners do. There's plenty. Our guys take a lot of pride. It's really not about as much about the scoreboard as it is the pride that everybody has in how they play. That's the buy-in, and collectively, if you can get everybody committed to that, then the scoreboard will most likely take care of itself. So it's just little things. I mean, we come in here and we talk about whether it might be a loaf. We hold them to a high standard. And I come in every Monday and I'm in front of the whole team. If I got anybody loafing, I'm gonna call them out on it, and make sure they understand, that what the standard is. Same thing that we do as coaches as far as how we grade them. With their technique and their fundamentals and their performance and their performance points and so forth. There's a high level of accountability, so there's an edge every week in moving on to the next game, learning from it, but there's always another game, and you got to start over.
Coach, you didn't use Pollard on Saturday. Offensive line, you rushed for nearly 500 yards. The week before, you were without Falcinelli, did what you did for Florida State. This is about as good as the offensive line's been since you've been here.
Yeah, and that was something I said back before the season as well. I thought this would prove to be maybe my best offensive line. A lot of versatility. Last year, a lot of this team was developed last year. That's the thing. That's what's happening with us this year. You know, we've been able to play so many guys. Yes, we've developed our team for this year, but we've also developed a next year's team. And that's what happened. This is a result of last year. And a lot of those guys getting an opportunity to play, you know, quite a bit. John Simpson, he played a lot last year. You know, now Hearn's gone, and here's Big John stepping in, and he's been awesome. You know, Fauci obviously was a first-year starter, but Cervinka got more playing time last year. You know, obviously Ankrum as a first-year starter, but we've moved guys around. Pollard has played different positions, and we've just created good depth, you know, across the board there. And then throughout this year, like Jackson Carman, I thought played great the other day. Man, I'm so encouraged by what I've seen with him. Bach wasn't able to go. He's had a really good year. He's gotten some good experience. His ankle didn't allow him to play, but yeah, it's good. It's encouraging to know that you've got the type of depth you need to sustain, you know, an injury or whatever, you know, for a game. You know, I don't think we've got. Hopefully, we don't have any season-ending type injuries, but we've been able to withstand a game here, a game there, a quarter here, a quarter there.
Do you know if Pollard and Fields will be able to play this week?
Yeah, Mark looked good last night. They tested him pretty good. He ran him hard, so I think he'll be back in practice today, full go. So hopefully no setbacks there. And then Pollard was good to go Saturday. He's nothing with his wrist or thumb or whatever. He was okay there and ready. He just had a spasm on Wednesday and kind of pulled him out of practice. And he couldn't really do much on Thursday at all. So, but it settled down, and he was definitely ready to play. But you know, like I said, we scored 2 touchdowns in 5 plays, so it was 14-0 pretty quick, and it was a good luxury for us to be able to just not have to play him.
I know it was only, I guess, a week ago when you said that you want to try to be a little more disciplined, a little more patient. Do you feel like, I know it hasn't been obviously a super big sample size, but do you feel like you made progress with that?
He did. There's about 3 plays on tape that are indicative of that, you know, where he did not do a good job the previous week. As far as just patience, setting up his blocks, trusting the scheme, and yeah, he did a great job. I mean, I know he only had like 8 carries, but it was good to see him have that type. I mean, he had 150-something yards on 8 carries, but he did a heck of a job. Did a really nice job. All right. Appreciate it, guys. Might be the shortest conference in the history. You guys are getting weak around here.